I've had an interesting question about the RC5, and this actually applies to all boss loopers. The question is, how do I move a memory from one patch to another? Let's say I've got something on memory 2, like I have right now, and I want to move it over to memory 3, but there's something on there, and I want memory 3 to move over to memory 2. I want to swap them. Now, if you've got a laptop or a computer with you, that's easy. You can use the Tone Studio software to move them around. You can grab that audio file, put it into a different location, and click export. And it doesn't actually move it, it just deletes it and then replaces it in that memory slot. But what if you're at a gig and you actually want to change the order of your tracks? So you've got backing tracks, or you've got predetermined loops that you want to play around with in a specific order. Well, today I'm going to show you how you can do that without a laptop, without a computer around, and just using the device without any additional software. Hey, what's going on? It's JP. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, we talk about looping, live streaming, and all the tools you need as a modern musician. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, have a look around the channel and maybe click subscribe so you can know when the next video is out. Now, for this example, I'm actually using the RC500, but this does apply to the RC5, the 10R, the 500, even the old RC30 and 50. You can do this as well, right up to the monsters that are the RC600 and 505 Mark II. Now, a caveat with those two, the 600 and the 505 Mark II, they can actually be done through software, and there is official software, which again is the Tone Studio, but then there's the unofficial software, which is made by the wonderful John Moose Taylor. I made a video all about that, so if you have an RC600 or 505 Mark II, you need to go and check that out because that editor is fabulous. But what if you don't have the editor? What if you're actually on stage, you're in between sets, and you actually want to swap things around? So spoiler alert, you can't actually swap them. There isn't a way you swap one with the other. What we're actually doing is a workaround. What you need is an empty memory. So for this example, as I said, I'm using the RC500. I've got something on track 2 because you can see it's white. And if I move over to track 3, I've got something on there as well. I've got something on track 4, track 5, the list goes on. Then you can see track 7, 8, 9 hasn't got anything on, but track 10 has, track 11 has, etc, etc. What I'm going to do is switch memory 2 and memory 3 around. Now, to do this, we're not actually switching things around. I'm going to move one of them into an empty slot. The first thing is I need to put the loops on memory 2 somewhere else completely. So for this, it is actually called memory 2. I haven't actually changed the name on this. And I'm going to click exit and enter together. And I'm going to click on write and give that an enter. Now it's asking me where am I putting it. So this is where I'm going to move it to an empty slot. So I'm going to move it over to an empty slot that I know is completely empty, which is actually memory 50. So I know that is completely empty, and I'm going to click enter, and that will write it to memory 50. If you select a track where something's on there, it'll say, sorry, that's actually being used, pick somewhere else. Now you can see the loops called memory number 2 are actually on number 50, okay? But if we then go back all the way over to memory number 2, it's still there. What we now need to do is erase this loop. I've got stuff on track 1 and track 2, so I'm going to hold this down. Track 2 goes. Let's go over to track 1 and erase that as well. And then I'm going to save that. So now I'm going to save that exactly where it is on memory number 2. So memory number 2 is now empty. Now what we can do is we can go to memory number 3, click exit and enter, click write, and then it asks us where to put it. I'm going to put this where I want on memory number 2. So if I put that on memory number 2, it now executes and it's there. So this gets a bit confusing, but the tracks that I had on memory number 3 are now sitting on memory number 2. So these two are technically the same right now. Memory number 2 and memory number 3 have got the same loops on because they're both called memory 3. I hope that makes sense. So if I just go up now to track 50, there it is. I click exit and enter and then click write. What I want to do is I want to put this on memory number 3. So let's go down to memory number 3 and click enter, and it says loop are not empty. I did that deliberately just to show you that it actually isn't empty. You need to empty the memory first, that specific memory. So we'll get out of there. Let's go back down to memory number 3. And again, we need to blank these out. So this one and this one, there we go. And then I'm going to write that to memory number 3. So there is no audio on there. So now you can see it's blue, that means it's empty. So let's go up to memory 50. Let's click exit and enter, and then let's click write, and then we're going to put this on number 3. Click enter to execute it. So now, as you can see, memory number 2 has memory 3 on, or the loops from memory 3, and memory 3 has the loops from memory 2 on. Now, this is not the simplest solution on the planet. The simplest solution is to have a laptop with you or a computer with you to easily maneuver them. But this gets you out of a tight fix, certainly if you're live and you haven't got your computer with you. You just need to make sure out of the 99 memories, you've got an empty track. I hope that helps you when you're in a bit of a jam and just like wondering how the hell am I going to move these across. It's not ideal, but it is a solution. Just remember, if you've got names for them, at least you'll know what they're called. So therefore you won't have memory 2 on track 3 and memory 3 on track 2. You'll have the name of the track there. Now, if you have liked the content of this video, then please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me. It helps the channel grow. And if you've liked a few of my videos, consider subscribing to the channel. Over 90% of people who've watched my videos are not subscribed. And I'd love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel out. And also it means you'll see some tips and tricks from me for looping, for live streaming, for tools for the modern musician. If you want to learn more about the RC500, I've got an entire playlist that's coming up right now. And also this question actually came from a video that I did for the RC5, making it all about backing tracks. That's this video right here. Choose your adventure. Which one are you going to do?